Are you considering switching careers or changing jobs? Well, before you do, I want to share a top tip, which is make sure you speak to an independent, qualified financial planner or wealth advisor. See, here's the deal. Your financial situation may be much better or worse than you think, and you want to understand that before you make any major career moves. Here's why. Let's say that you're actually in much better shape than you think you are. Perhaps your savings are doing better, your investments are great, you have a lot stored up in your house, and maybe you have some other sources of income, for example. If your situation is better than you expect, you want to know that. And the reason is that perhaps you could be more open with different job types. You might be willing to take something that pays less, or perhaps you should choose a job that has fewer hours or less call or less work because, why kill yourself if you're already doing pretty well financially? Now, on the other hand, if your financial situation is worse than you think, let's say, for example, you have some major expenses coming up that you haven't considered, or you've got some big tax bills that you haven't budgeted for, or you have less income coming in than you appreciated, you want to know that because if you need to make more money, you really should factor that in when you are deciding your next job. So the way you do this is you find an independent financial professional that will sit down with you. And there are lots of people that do this. I always recommend it to clients when I'm working with them. And they'll go over all of your assets, all of your income, your expenses, including some expenses you probably haven't considered. They'll also look at things like retirement, your kids' college savings, if that's relevant, insurance, disability, and life insurance, how you might take care of your spouse or your parents, for example, or grandkids. They'll look at all this stuff, they'll run the numbers, and then they'll tell you where you stand. And you really need to know this stuff. So I recommend it to everybody I work with. You should do it as well. But the trick is make sure you find people that are not trying to sell you things. They're not trying to sell you stocks or bonds or some crazy investment vehicle. All they do is say, look at where you are, tell you where you are, and then you all move on with life. Those are the people you want, and they'll help you make a reasonable, informed, and really safe decision before you start your next job.